We live in a society now where it's just first. Who cares? Get it out there. We don't care who it hurts. We don't care who we destroy. We don't care if it's true. Just say it. Sell it.
I'm solution-based, not problem-stuck.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, what are we going to do about it?
Well, that was a question. Who you wound up supporting in the election, presidential election?
None of your business.
Denzel Washington isn't just one of Hollywood's most iconic actors. He's also known for being one of its most straightforward voices. Whether it's shutting down provocative questions, challenging divisive narratives, or calling out the media's lack of integrity, Denzel consistently delivers the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. Let's start with a moment at the Fences premiere in 2016, where Denzel put not one, but two reporters in their place.
Mr. Washington, you're here in D.C. during an interesting time with the transition in the White House. Just wondering who you wound up supporting in the election and why.
Go ahead now. Fences.
How about this? I don't know if you saw it. There's a fake news story going around. It got thousands of shares online. You saw that. And I just thought you might want to clear it up because people are confused.
This exchange shows just how skilled Denzel is at sidestepping baited questions. But it wasn't just about brushing off reporters. At the same event, he took a moment to call out the media for prioritizing speed over truth.
Well, that was a question. Who you wound up supporting in the election, presidential election?
None of your business.
None of my business?
None of your business.
I want to just ask you, though, about the issue of race relations, because the film touches upon that. Right now, under President Obama, over the last 8 years, in your mind, have race relations improved under his leadership?
Race relationships have to do with race relationships. You're white or whatever you are. I'm black or whatever I am. We're standing here talking now. That's how we get things done. You can't legislate love. The President of the United States can't legislate us into liking each other.
Denzel's wisdom shines through here. He challenges the audience to think critically about the information we consume and share. This wasn't the last time he had to educate the media either. During an interview promoting Roman J. Israel Esquiator, a reporter tried to box him into a woke activist role.
Have you been an activist for a while?
I've never been an activist.
No.
I'm active. I mean, what is the definition of an activist?
I think you're always conscious that it's a response to things that are unjust.
I'm solution-based, not problem-stuck.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, what are we going to do about it?
Instead of embracing the activist label, Denzel pivoted to something much more meaningful, focusing on actions that create change. He went further by talking about his personal commitment to being a role model.
And I stay in my lane. So for that reason, I am proud of a film like Roman Israel. Mm-hmm. As in my where I am in life now, I'm in service, and I'm trying to be an advocate for good and change and in thought, deed, and action.
Doing what it is you do.
Right, doing what it is I do, but also how I live.
Yeah.
Just trying to not tell anybody how to live, but trying to be a good example.
Yeah.
We've all fallen short of the glory, and we're all a work in progress, and I'm just trying to do the best I can every day.
Denzel's perspective is a refreshing reminder that personal responsibility and self-reflection are key to making a difference. But when the media repeatedly tried to frame every issue through the lens of race, Denzel didn't hesitate to challenge their assumptions.
Had he not faced the racial discrimination, he could have been a great athlete, a star. But because of that, he ended up a garbage collector. Mm. And perhaps this self-destructiveness, was it caused by racial discrimination? And is that the effect of racial discrimination?
It's not that Denzel ignores the realities of systemic issues. He just doesn't allow them to define every narrative. In another interview, he took the opportunity to speak about the importance of family and how it's often the starting point for meaningful change.
Yeah. I was in Chicago a couple of 3-4 weeks ago, and we saw these little kids on bikes with masks on the side of their head, like 5 or 6 of them. And the driver said, yeah, they're little yummies. I said, who? He said, little yummies. Look up, Google Little Yummy. Little Yummy was an 11-year-old murderer. Where was his father? Yeah. It starts in the house. It starts in the home. And my father got locked up. Well, where was his father?
Yeah.
It's not that Denzel ignores the realities of systemic issues, he just doesn't allow them to define every narrative. In another interview, he took the opportunity to speak about the importance of family and how it's often the starting point for meaningful change.
You're free to go in any direction you want. It will allow you, and it's not the enemy. It's just it's just a reflection of our own free will. You know, and we all want to be liked. But now we want to be liked by 16 million.
And finally, one of the most thought-provoking moments came when Denzel explained the difference between race and culture, a distinction that's often overlooked.
So why did he need a black director? Could a white director not have?
It's not
produced this
color,
work?
it's culture.
Explain the difference, because I think we're in a
Steven
space
Spielberg
right
did Schindler's List.
now. Mm-hmm.
Martin Scorsese did Goodfellas, right? Steven Spielberg could direct Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese probably could have done a good job with Schindler's List, but they're cultural differences.
Moments like these are why Denzel Washington is more than just an actor. He's a voice of clarity in a world of noise. Whether he's challenging Hollywood, the media, or society as a whole, Denzel reminds us to focus on truth, accountability, and solutions.
In this Twitter tweet, meme, mean world that we've created for our children, the least we can do is consider what we've done and think about the young people, the future, and individually, collectively do the best we can to try and turn this thing around. I blame no one. I look in the mirror.
If we truly want to see real change in today's world, we need more voices like Denzel Washington's. Voices that stand firm in truth, grounded in wisdom, and unafraid to challenge the chaos around them. In a time when so much of the narrative is shaped by trends and political correctness, Denzel offers a refreshing perspective that cuts through the noise. In particular, he's been outspoken about the dangers of what many now call woke culture. While it often starts with good intentions, the idea of being woke has in many ways been distorted into a tool for division, cancel culture, and performative activism. Instead of creating meaningful dialogue or promoting genuine solutions, woke culture can often devolve into finger-pointing and shouting matches. But Denzel doesn't buy into this. He's consistently reminded us that change starts with accountability, looking inward before blaming the outside world. He challenges the idea of labeling people or reducing complex issues to overly simplistic narratives. Instead of letting race or other social constructs dictate how we see the world, Denzel encourages us to focus on shared humanity and the relationships we build with one another. As he famously said, no one, not even a president, can legislate love. It's up to each of us to take responsibility for our own hearts and actions. Beyond his critique of woke culture, Denzel also takes aim at the media, another driving force in shaping today's narratives. He calls out the media for prioritizing speed and sensationalism over truth, emphasizing the damage caused by spreading misinformation. His message is clear. Honesty and integrity matter more than being first, and his advice to young people, especially in the social media age, is just as powerful. He warns against chasing likes and approval from millions of strangers online, reminding us that true worth isn't found in external validation, but in our own character and actions. Denzel's grounded perspective on woke culture, the media, and accountability is exactly what the world needs right now. He doesn't just point out problems, he offers solutions, focusing on the power of personal responsibility, strong families, and honest conversations. If his words inspire you to think differently, to rise above the noise of modern culture, and to take meaningful action, then don't hesitate to join us. Subscribe for more content that challenges the narrative, exposes the flaws in performative activism, and shines a light on the path to real, lasting change. Together we can make a difference, starting with ourselves. If Denzel's wisdom inspires you to think differently and focus on real solutions, subscribe now for more content that challenges the narrative and sparks meaningful change. Let's rise above the noise, together.